auf dessen Gebälk hier sehr schön anliegt. Hello everybody, this is Yvonne for Yvonne's Love Stream Walks. Walking each other home today at the Roman Forum. If you've just joined, I've just started to descend the steps to get closer to this magnificent arch in front, the Arch of Septimus Severus. And over there is well, what's left of the Temple of Saturn. Yeah, it's amazing. Hello, Olive, and Suzanne, Diane, I saw Tom earlier, and Bonnie, and Signe, and Kendall, yay, Ciao Roma indeed. Anyway, as you can see, it's a gorgeous day. I'm in a summer dress and sandals. And I was just at the top here at the Capitol, you know, the museum on the Capitol Hill, and there was a band playing and an opera singer singing, and I was hoping that they'd keep going till 4 o'clock UK time, but not to be. But I got some videos. Anyway, I'm going to keep going down these steps so we can get up close to this magnificent arch. And although I did ancient history, I hope you can hear me, by the way, because I haven't got my cord. I did ancient history at school and at university, but I had to brush up my dates. And I'd forgotten that the Roman Empire really went for 1,000 years, and that there was the era of the kings from the 7th century BC, and then there was the era of the Republic for many, many hundreds of years, and then of course Augustus became the first emperor, and then it was the empire. And it went on to be the Western Empire and then the Eastern Byzantine Empire. So, oh my God, it went on forever. But look, here we are. Look at this magnificent arch.
But then the last time allowed to get in for
and it looks down, you can see. And I was reading about all of this, and just behind this arch was the rostra, where Mark Antony made the eulogy of Julius Caesar over his body. That was in 44 BC. Look at that sky, quite a difference from Bucharest last week in the rain and the wind, but still lovely. Anyway, as I said, the columns there are the Temple of Saturn, and somewhere out there is the Temple of Vesta, of the 6 Vestal Virgins. But the reliefs on this are fantastic. Anyway, I hope the comments are coming through. Yeah, I can see, who was the last person? Suzanne, Olive, Irmgard, hi! And Jane, fantastic. And yeah, buongiorno, Peggy. Wow. Yeah, so we're going to walk along the edge of the Roman Forum, the Via dei Fora Imperiali. Excuse my Italian accent, even though I have an Italian last name. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And this arch, the Sacred Way, the Via Sacrae, went through the center of this arch and down into the Forum. And it was Julius Caesar that really made this Forum the center of Rome. I think he started doing that in about 54 BC. Hi Elaine, welcome, welcome. So over there in the distance you can see the Palatine Hill, but this arch is something. But we won't stay here forever, and behind me, let's just go. Yes, you can see Foro Romano. And I was just up there where the Capitoline Museum is, and that's where the band was playing. And then opera, I mean, only in Italy could you just wander along, an opera singer, a band, and motorbikes in full military uniform doing a sort of ballet to the music. Just beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to, right in front of me actually is the Trajan's Forum. Now Trajan, we're going to get closer to that, but he was 150 years after Caesar, and of course the problem with Caesar is that it was supposed to be a republic, but he started to act like an emperor. But anyway, welcome, welcome. Hi, leader. Who else is there? I saw Elaine. Yes. Anyway, we'll be back on the Via dei Fora Imperiali in a moment. But today we are walking with two sort of interesting, as I said on my Facebook page, Eileen today is all about fun and laughter and needing to do something different from the new normal rhythm to bring zest into your life. And here I am at the remains of an empire, which sort of brings sober reflection. It's a bit like Shelley's poem Ozymandias. Look on ye works, ye mighty in despair, but nothing remains. And interestingly, talking of Shelley, I went to the Keats Shelley Museum next to the Spanish Steps to pay my respects. And this morning I went to Keats's grave in the non-Catholic cemetery in Rome to pay my respects, as he was one of my favorite poets. Now this white building in front of me, which is the Victoria Emmanuel II, it's the back of what everybody loves to call the wedding cake. Maybe we'll see the front of that later. So many tourists here, you wouldn't believe it. Hello Maggie in Glasgow. Great you're all joining, and I presume you can all hear me. And what I love about, look at those trees. These trees are quintessential Italian trees. Something about the beauty of the branches. And I love, I'm just walking along in Rome and suddenly I come across some huge, magnificent scale ruins. Here we're looking down into the Forum. And of course this Forum eventually went into disrepair, became a sort of marsh. Churches were built on it using the stones from the Forum. Yes, empires crumble. Jane, nothing stays the same, does it? You know, consider that the Romans, it went on for 1,000 years, but still it ended. And Rome was sacked many times. I think finally by the Germans and the Normans. But wow, here we are. And today we're walking with two very different qualities. Laughter, which Eileen is talking about this week, the need to add some zest to our lives, doing something out of the ordinary, but also of world peace, with this background of a Roman Empire And we're going to see the edge of the Colosseum later, where 400,000 people died over, I think, was it 400 years the Colosseum was in use? Not all gladiators, often slaves and convicts. Yes, it was quite a harsh era. And over there is Trajan's Market. We will get over that side later. All those lovely porticos there, selling oils, grain, fruit, vegetables, and then the lovely trees. But look, there's so many tourists, so bear with me. Whereas I try to get next to every nationality possible. Yeah, so let's hold the quality of laughter and world peace. One bringing us upliftment, and one a very serious topic, world peace. And are we on the brink of something? Perhaps peace in one area of the world. Anyway, I'm just going to get over to the edge here so I can look back. So this big church, of course, was built much later. Yeah, so there's a look at the wedding cake, the Victor Emmanuel. Splendid, splendid. Yes, Peggy, it is so much fun, isn't it? Here we are in ancient Rome. Put on your toga. And of course, look, it's 5 o'clock here in the evening and the sun is so bright and the sky is so blue. Today I went to the Museum of the Liberation of World War II, and I hadn't realized really that Mussolini was overthrown in 1943, and then the Germans occupied Italy, and then there was all sort of hell broke loose really, and terrible reprisals, and anyway, it's not a pretty story. But let's get close here. But yeah, it was lovely to go to the Keats Shelley Museum to see the room where, well, not lovely really, to see the room where Keats died. He was only 25, can you believe it? February 1821. So you can see over there in the distance, there's crowds of people up there on the hill, the Palatine Hill. And then looking around here, we can only imagine what this looked like in its magnificence. Oh, Cindy, hi. Yes, God. Oh, well, if you've never been, you have now. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Now, oh, could you just see the Colosseum up there in the distance? I've done a lot of walking today. I'm averaging about 20,000 steps a day because it's just much better walking everywhere. Even though there are crowds of people. And yeah, Eileen's message is to do something entirely different. What would that be for you? And then she says, when you're up against it, meaning, you know, things are very, very challenging, she says, don't close down. Love despite everything. And then you know it's divine love flowing from you. Here's a good vantage point. Oh, who is popping on there? Jeanette, hi! Joining us in Rome. Perhaps a pizza later. Yeah, I came across Hadrian's Museum today and also Nero's crazy palace. the Domus Aureole, I think, the Golden House it's called. But yeah, just a gigantic scale. And this is just one section. And across the road as we walk back, you'll see Trajan's Forum. And everywhere, you know, the letters SPQR. Does anybody know what that stands for in Latin? SPQR. The Senate and the Roman people. Senate, is it Populesque Romana? Pardon my very, very bad schoolgirl Latin. Anyway, you can see there's groups of tourists everywhere. And today it got to, I think, 26 degrees centigrade. So lovely, lovely temperatures. For me, anyway. And then she says, Eileen that is, or Eileen's guidance, love is gentle, strong, and persistent. It's like water. And in other words, it will wear away any resistance gently, but with strength. Now, for those of you who just came on, for 1,000 years, the Roman Forum was the heart. And all distances were measured from here. Imagine. And it was very marshy, and then it was drained, but it was Caesar who really put it on the map. And I guess many of you know Shakespeare's play, Julius Caesar, and Mark Antony's very clever speech. And look, you can just see the trees there and those two statues on top of the Victor Emmanuel, Vittorio Emmanuel II building, and the sun shining ever so brightly. And then you can just see the top of the Colosseum there, so let's keep walking. Are you all riveted to the spot? Now, the best piece of pizza in your life, Kendall, that's saying a lot. Everybody says the best pizza is in Naples, but I don't know whether that's true. So if you just came on, go back to the beginning to see the wonderful arch of Septimus Severus. Now there's the Colosseum. Can you see it in the distance there?
Well, okay, so
I've got wide angle, helpful in some ways. I also went to a magnificent palace yesterday, the palace of the Pamphili family, one of the big families in Rome. I was happy to hear that they didn't let Hitler into their palace in 1938. I wish I could give you some scale of these huge megaliths. Must have been amazing to be here. I would have loved to have met Cicero. Oh, look, they've built. Just enormous. Too bad the baths of Caracalla are too far away because they're also magnificent. So many churches. And of course the Christian church just, you know, lay its holidays on top of the pagan names. There's the Colosseum there. And Vespasian built the Colosseum to keep the people happy because Nero's reign had been so bad that he thought he better distract. And so he built this incredible edifice. And it's not until you're standing right next to it that you realize how huge it is. And it's just got, well, I can just 1, 2, 3, 4 stories I can see from here. And then there's the underneath as well. And when you think of the spectacles that went on here with wild animals and, you know, very theatrical. And it was finished by Vespasian's son Titus. I hadn't realized how many emperors of Rome and how long the Republic went on for, actually. I think something like the founding of Rome was 753 BC. Then there were all the kings. And then the Roman Republic was 509 to 31 BC. And then the empire started in 27 BC with Augustus. And then the fall of the Western Roman Empire was 476 AD. Haven't I done my homework? And then the Byzantine Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire, went on till 1453. So, yeah. So this was built in 72 AD, finished by Titus in 80 AD. Whoa. Magnificent. The ruins are much higher on this side, by the way. Oh, now did I? Oh, I missed this. I have to go back and show you this. Sorry. I love these, there's things on the wall here. Now, who's this saying hi, hi? Jeanette. Ah, yes, I saw you before. Who else have we got? Olive still there watching. Cindy. Am I walking too fast? Now, this is... Now, at the beginning, you can see there's just a dot where Rome was. That was the extent of it. And then the empire increased to be all the white bits. And then it continued to increase. And I love the last one. So the full extent of the Roman Empire here. Now there's the full extent of the Roman Empire. Hi Jill. Yes, hello to all the Fellowship of Lovelies. Now this one, do you notice that they got to England but they didn't get to Scotland? Yeah, or Ireland. But that's quite an empire, isn't it? Right into, all across the north of Africa there. Egypt. Yeah, it was a huge empire. Anyway, we'll walk a little bit further. I don't want to run out of signal. I mean, not signal, like battery. Yeah. But the crowds of tourists around the Colosseum, around the Trevi Fountain and the Spanish Steps. Unbelievable. Okay, I'm not going to go any closer to the Colosseum because I want to head back and see the Trajan Forum. And look at these people on these scooters. These electric scooters, sometimes somebody stands on the back as well, and they go on the main roads, they go on the highways. Oh, so there's electric bikes, electric scooters, cars everywhere. Oh look, there's a fantastic view of the Vittorio Emanuele edifice down there. It'll get bigger as we get closer. But, you know, this is just one little part of Imperial Rome. Just love to click my fingers and be back there. Be fantastic, wouldn't it? Hearing people speak in the forum. And this week to blend together these really amazing look at ancient Rome and modern Rome really. With Eileen's guidance, so weird, but she talks about not possessing things, and in a way I suppose the Roman emperors thought that they were immortal and that they were going to stay rich, etc. You know, Eileen reminds us we can't possess things. We come in with nothing, we leave with nothing, and we might as well share and make room for things, really. And she says to see any problems as stepping stones rather than obstacles. And she just encourages us to show love and compassion to all people. Now the sun is really, really shining and making everything a silhouette. But we're just coming to the edge of Trajan's Forum. But it is lovely to be in balmy weather, you know, not to have to grab a coat and think there might be an Arctic wind. Incredible for, what is it today, the 10th of October. Something just huge. Nice little restaurant here. Bit of modern Rome. Up in lovely balconies up high. Oh, I should get across the pedestrian crossing while it's green. Otherwise I wait forever. Put my skates on. But there's a lot of work going on. And as you can see on this thing, it says we are bringing to light a new area of the Imperial Fora. So I'll come back in a few years and this will all be done. Mundi mean? I mean, of the world, Mundi is of the world, but is it head of the world? Caput? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's true, Kendall. I remember hiking in Nepal, they sort of had nothing, but they were so generous. And just really, this is so beautiful, these frescoes. And then looking down, yeah, it is flat walking around here. We just need to. Peggy, I am visiting a friend, Gabrielle, who I did Experience Week with in 1992. So I have some dancing. I'm circle dancing with a group in the south of France on the 18th of October. And I went to visit my friend Roxana in Bucharest. She and I did the embodied intelligence training together. And then I came to Rome to see Gabrielle, who is in fact Dutch. Our experience week was 20 people from 14 different countries, and Gabrielle and I have stayed in touch for 32 years, 33 years, and I decided to finally come and visit her on my way to France. Now I want you to see the SP, the Senate and the Roman people, and also everybody touches Caesar's toe. Good luck, I guess. So you can see they sort of have this mesh up because they're doing all sorts of things, but you can still get quite close. Oh God, can you imagine? Look, they're trying to identify where bits go, I suppose. Well, you know, Experience Week certainly forges strong friendships. Well, this is only one tiny bit of Rome. I have walked and walked it, but I thought the Roman Forum was probably a good place to show you. I just love the trees, don't you? It's such a delight. And just all these, I mean, God, wouldn't it be great to click our fingers and be back in Rome as it was? Just to see it, not to be put in the middle of the Colosseum or anything. But when I Googled the timeline of emperors, I was just astonished at how many there were, because, you know, we really only know, well, Caligula, Nero. Who was the one that made his horse a senator? Was that Caligula? Oh God, and there was that magnificent series. I'm going to go across the grass here. Naughty. And Bonnie, there was an ox for you. Oh gosh, look at that. Fabuloso. The sun is setting at about 7:05 in the evening now. But I want to take you to see Trajan's column, this magnificent, I don't know, what is it, 30 meters high column that has this sort of incredible relief spiraling up the column of all the battles. Ah, here we are. Rather impressive, isn't it? Hail Caesar. Rome salutes you. I studied Antony and Cleopatra, Shakespeare's play, when I was a student. And as I was walking along the Tiber, I remember the line that let Rome in Tiber melt. Yes, he was looking up at the wedding table, and over there back where we were at the beginning of the war. And so you can see the column, Trajan's column, at the head of this here. Are you all? Ah, yes, Derek Jacobi, yeah. That was fantastic. The I Claudius, yeah. Yeah, the trees are beautiful. So yeah, over there are all where the shops were. They call it the first shopping mall in the world. And yeah, as I said before, grain, oil, fruit, vegetables, everything from all corners of the empire, I imagine. And always the Catholic churches and influence next to the Roman gods and goddesses, the Vestal Virgins, the emperors. So it's 25 to 6 in the evening here, 25 to 5 in Findhorn. Apparently the ukulele festival was a great success, and next year's is already in early June 2026. See, look at this, it's beautiful. Let's wander along here amongst these lovely trees. And look, there's the side of the wedding cake. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Look, there's the column. And I don't know how close I can get you to see the... As you can see, there's lots of equipment. They're putting in new metro stations to stop, I guess, the crowds of the buses and everything on the street. This is a beautiful evening light, isn't it? Here we come. Just looking back, but you can see more of the wedding cake here. Look at that. Oh God, full disclosure, who was that asking me about Italian ice cream, Bonnie? Full disclosure, yesterday I had 4 lots of gelato. Okay, now, I think actually it's better even from around the other side. But I couldn't resist all the different flavors. You know, I had pear and ginger, and I had ricotta, and I had that was a sort of Sicilian ricotta with pieces of lemon and orange in it. And then I also had rosemary and lavender, I think it was. How can one resist such things? Okay, see if I can get so close here.
Sí, sí. Yo lo había leído.
Me tiré una puerta y bajo.
Aquí la cuenca sube hasta arriba.
Tienes un mirador ahí arriba.
They're closing the gates on us. But we can come around here. Okay, can I get up on this fence, do you think? Yes. There you go. That's rather, oh, look at that with the trees at the edge. Nice. Look at that. Whoa, fantastic. Look at that, look at that. And then over there. They're doing a lot of work in front of it. And then the Piazza Venezia is here, where Mussolini used to stand on the balcony. And then the Via del Corso runs all the way up to the Piazza di Popolo. Oh, Jane, you're very welcome. Oh, you're very welcome too, Susan. But yeah, fabulous.
Está la Basílica de San Pedro.
So next week, I will be in France. It'll be the day before my dance day. I'll probably be out in the countryside, I think, somewhere between Toulouse and Carcassonne. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. But look, I'm just, you know me, I can't. That was a bit of an unladylike descent. But maybe you just want to see a little back alleyway here. See Trajan's Forum there. I'll try and get round the front. And these are all very volcanic, black stones and walkways. Oh, and I didn't tell you, I've been zipping about on the back of Gabriel's Motorino, which is not a Vespa. It's sort of a motorbike, but only 150cc. I've been on the back of that zipping down, which is loads of fun. And you might be able to hear the sirens. There's forever
I give you present
police,
because I have my wife.
police and ambulance sirens everywhere. Right now you can just see, listen to them, frenetic Roman life. And all the little motorbikes along here. And the sun coming through there. All right, this is going to be our final little takeaway. Ba-boom. So this is 46 Friday afternoon traffic. And there we have the wedding cake. Turning around, yeah, the sun is very bright. So I'm going to leave you here. Thank you for joining me for this lovely little stroll, Fellowship of Lovelies. Remember, love and compassion to all. And be generous with what you have. And do something out of the ordinary to bring some zest back into your life. So lots of love from me here in Rome. Mwah! And bye from everybody at Findhorn as well, of course. Okay, bye.